What's a worse? Another day and another music reaction. We're diving into Pink Floyd's Mother, requested by our lovely patron, VIP Art. Art, thank you. We've done tons of Pink Floyd. This one, I think, is probably the eldest from what I've done so far. So this is a live from 1918. We can only imagine it's going to be awesome. So here we go.
Mother, do you think they'll drop the ball?
Just like they were young. Oh my word!
Mother, do you think they'll like this song?
What a way to cheer your own song on.
Mother, do you think they'll try to break my balls?
Nice.
Mother, should I build a wall? Mother, should I run for president?
Ooh. I always find it so formal when kids call their parents mother, father.
Should I trust the government?
I'm used to mom and dad.
Mama, will they put me in the firing line?
Now I call them mama.
Is
Ne?
it just a waste of time? Hush now, baby, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna make all of your nightmares come true. Mama's gonna put all of her fears.
Wait, mama, what? Was it mother or mama? I don't know. Mother's gonna make all your nightmares come true. What kind of mother is this? I just want to recap. I want to make sure what I heard was correct. Because this whole time he's calling her mother, and I swear then I heard all of a sudden mama. Like, to me,
Mama, will they put me
it is
in
mama.
the firing line?
Like, there's a complete shift in, I mean, you see this in Korean, you see this in more your I want to go and say higher class people, but also your much older generations. So maybe let's go with 100 years ago. Kids would call their parents mother and father, or in Korean abuji, amunim, just because instead of appa or ma or mom or dad or mama, papa, there's a very distinct, almost barrier, I want to say. If you refer to parents with the mother, father, which is super formal, like there's some level of barrier. You don't have seriously personal connections with your parents. You don't. It's like that kind of you behave, you are uptight, you are no one should ever find fault with you, otherwise you will put the family to shame. It's that kind of, it's, I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of, I addressed my mother like that. I could not stand calling her mama, but obviously, for obvious reasons, I had a very different relationship with her, which kind of proves my point here. So whereas kids who can call their parents mama, papa, mom, dad, or mommy and daddy, there's a lot of trust, first of all, in the parents. There's a lot of deep connection, so you can go to your parents for anything and everything. I don't know, I might be overthinking this, but this is how I've observed it pretty much my entire life. And I've made that personal association with mother versus mom. It's almost as mother and father is cold,
Is it just a waste of time?
Hush now, baby, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna make all of your nightmares come true. Mama's gonna put all of her fears into you. Mama's gonna keep you right here under her wing. She won't let you fly, but she might let you sing. Mama's gonna keep baby cozy and warm. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby. 'Cause mama's gonna help it.
Okay, we will listen to the solo again. Relax. Just relax. Okay, so now, instead of thinking she is one horrible mother, because she said, I'm going to make my nightmares yours, I'm going to instill all my fears into you, now she's kind of saying, I will help you build a wall. I will protect you. I will keep you, I will keep you under my wing. She's like, she sounds like a super controlling mother, but also like excruciatingly, what's the word I'm looking for? Protective, overbearing, overprotective, not protective, overprotective. Yeah, this sounds like a woman I wouldn't be able to live with her. This kind of sounds like my childhood right now. It sounds like my mother, no wonder. Thanks for the journey down memory lane, Art. I appreciate you, as always. Let's just restart the solo before I get slammed again.
Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby.
This kid is going to be very lonely if he lets his mother do this. What's that? figures. Why am I struggling to see?
Mama, do you think she's good enough? For me? Mama, do you think she's dangerous?
What's up with those questions? Mama, do you think she's good enough for me? Should you almost... That's... Oh, that sounds like a very... I don't know. Am I overreacting? It sounds like a little bit that mother and son relationship is just too close. It's going to be a nightmare for any daughter-in-law. Should the son not technically go and try and convince his mom that the girl he's in love with is good enough for him? Does he have a chip on his shoulder? Why does he... I mean, do you love her? It's not about is she good enough for you. At the end of the day, it's so important to just love each other. And yes, if you live good lives, if you live with morals and a certain set of code that you stand by, then why pose the question to your mom, is she good enough? I don't like this. I don't, maybe it's just because I've had a really, really bad relationship with my mother, but there are limitations. There's boundaries. Like, trust your mom, trust that she will take care of you. But now, at first, I thought, like, you know what? He's still maybe a child. He does see what's happening in the world. He does see that there's obviously wars and the government's trying to push narratives, and he's worried about bombs being dropped. But now he's shifting to, Mom, I have a girlfriend. Is she good enough for me? Now, you're an adult man now. Don't you think you should stand on your own 2 feet and decide whether your woman is good enough for you or not? I'm so conflicted with this. I would have said you should have gone to his dad to talk woman and say, Dad, I have this girl. I really, really like her. She does this and this and this, but she does this. Do you think it's going to be a danger for me? Do you think it's going to bite me in the ass? He even asked whether, in the beginning, whether, what was it, the government or they, I think he referred to as they. So are they going to crush my balls or something like that? That is inappropriate to discuss that with your mother. So I know it's a figure of speech. I know it's like, I mean, I would also tell someone, in this case, I'm going to tell this guy, grow a pair. You worried about the government crushing your balls? Well, I think you've lost them already if you go and ask your mom this question. Go to your dad. If you don't have a dad, okay, then it's a different story. Let's talk about that. But you don't go talk to your mom if you have a dad about your balls and crushing your balls, and it's kind of got to do with your. Another one is, do you have a spine? Are you spineless? You know, it's that same expression. I don't know. I'm really conflicted. Like, I keep switching from, oh, that's kind of horrendous, and then I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe she's just overprotective, and then I go like, no, but hold on. This whole relationship just seems toxic. It seems bad. It's bad for future daughter-in-laws, to be honest. But okay, I don't want my future husband to go to his mom and say, Mom, do you think she's good enough for me? I'm like, no, he should go to his mom and say, Mom, I really like her. I love her. She's amazing. We will deal with whatever the hell comes our way in the future. I mean, I will hold up my end of the bargain, but I don't know. That's just me. You know what? I just realized I might actually be biased because my very last relationship was a guy who I dated only for, I think, 3 months. But he was a mama's boy. And he went and he allowed his dad to say that our relationship will never work and he needs to break up with me. And what? I'm too dominating, or I'm too what? I don't submit, or I would never submit. They don't want me in their family. Crap like that. And then when he introduced me, the day he introduced me to his parents, he ambushed me. He didn't tell me that they're going to be there. I went to help him. I drove throughout the night, not sleeping for 2 days. I drove all by myself. The car eventually actually swerved over the road. And so that we had to stop the car. I had to get out and do jumping jacks so I just don't fall asleep behind the steering wheel. But in any case, I did all of that for him. We went to fetch his stuff in a freaking shack that he lived in. And then I brought it all back to my house and I said, it's fine, let's start over. I mean, I have a place, we can stay here, it's fine. I don't care about that, I care about him. So he ambushed me and he had his parents go there when I was not prepared. I haven't slept in 2 days. We haven't eaten, nothing. And I'm dirty. I've packed his stuff. And then when his parents came, he went to sit next to his mom in her arm. And then I had to sit alone on a chair and he allowed his parents to badmouth me in my face. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And just a week prior, they asked him to ask me for money. So I'm like, okay. So this is how it's going to go. So, okay, guys, maybe don't take my commentary too hard. Maybe I'm just completely scarred and I can't do with mama's boys. I love that a man has a good relationship with his mom, but not that good. Okay. That's where we're at. I will rewind just because I've talked a lot, but I just came to a realization. And I just need to breathe because it just makes me mad whenever I think about it.
Mama, do you think she's good enough? For me? Mama, do you think she's dangerous?
She will be if she meets your mom. Like, I ain't doing this shit.
Mama, when she tear your little boy apart.
Your little boy.
Break my heart.
Hush now, baby, baby, don't you cry. Mama's gonna check out all your girlfriends for you. Mama won't let anyone dirty get through. Mama's gonna wait up until you come in. And Mama will always find out where you've been. Mama's gonna keep baby healthy and clean. Ooh, babe.
I really can't make out what that is.
Mother didn't need to be so high.
Interesting. So, okay, I'm gonna like this. I think, first of all, the way they wrote the song, I think is brilliant, just because I actually was able to envision that conversation. I was able to sit there and watch these two converse, and I'm like, I'm watching a nightmare. Um, so they did really well in putting the lyrics together, and also how they switched from, you know, the more formal. I'm leaning very strongly towards that. In the first, I think it's first and second verse, where he kept addressing her as mother, and then all of a sudden, mama, and then she replied and said, "Hush, my baby, it's gonna be fine," or not, "It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna, make all your nightmares come true," etc., etc. So it's almost like, and now even here at the end, she kept saying, "Hush, my baby," which to me, I kind of feel like he got sucked into that mental state of almost never really growing up, or never learning to act independently from his parents, or his mother in this case. So instead of standing on his own 2 feet, making decisions for himself, reason certain things by himself, and then come with a case to his parents and say, "This is the thing, this is how I feel. What do you guys think? Do you have advice? Do you have guidance?" But it's like he almost lacked the initial thinking process, of just at least forming some sort of a path for himself, and then just asking guidance. Do you guys think it's okay if I take this route? But he's already thought about it. He's already planned it through. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know how other people do it. Again, my life, my childhood was very, very different. So I was forced into becoming independent. Gosh, I want to say from the age of four, was it 4? It was 4. And it was my first time I had to talk my mother out of committing suicide. So I don't have that thing of, I can 100% rely on you. I can trust you with just about anything and everything in my life, and whatever you say is law. It's not my case. So I find it really difficult to say that, like, I physically can't. I won't say that this is a healthy relationship between this mother and this son. It's a bit too much. It really is too much. And now, because he's at this point where he even still calls her mama, like, there's nothing wrong with calling your mother mama if you are a 40-year-old man. That's perfectly fine. The problem comes in that he can't even make decisions for himself. It doesn't seem like that. So again, the songwriting is awesome. It is brilliant, because they did take me through this whole evening. I almost, because of the lighting was dark, the stage was dark, it all kind of felt like it was happening. And because of the tone they set in the beginning of the song, where it was first we addressed the bombs, and then it was the government, and then I can't remember what else. So it immediately made me feel like, okay, we are somewhere in a dark space. It is wartime. We're maybe at home. Maybe dad went off to war. I don't know. So just mom and this boy at home, and they are having this conversation where he's lying in bed. I don't know. But it's almost like, I've watched movies before where, if the bombs are falling, I think it was during the Holocaust or whatever, a movie that was made about those times. So the narrative that was pushed in this movie is that people were hiding away, and kind of they would hear the bombs and everyone would be terrified. And whenever there's a knock on the door, like everyone's thinking, oh, we're gonna get killed now, it's done, it's our family was made, you know. So that's kind of the environment that my brain created, or the picture that my brain created for me, because everything was so dark and eerie. Maybe even rainy, like it's raining outside, but the roofs are leaking. I don't know why. That's just the picture I have in my head. So that was really good. And I really, really liked the way they made their music. And strangely enough, guys, for the first time, no, not for the first time. I've said before, I think I need to think now carefully. So is it Roger? I think it's Roger's voice that I really struggle because of his tone. I can't make out his words, his articulation, and just again, tone deaf. So I genuinely struggle. But when David sings, I think that's the right way around now. If David sings, it's perfect. I can hear every word. I actually don't know who sung this, who was the lead. I know there's a second voice that came in later on, so maybe it's David and Roger. I don't know. You guys can tell me in the comments. But I'm just amazed that I think because the picture was so vivid that they created, I was able to follow along, you know? So I was there with every sentence. It's like they almost, with the last sentence, it's almost like they create some kind of emotion in you, almost like are you actually serious right now? Are you like a little bit of, I don't want to say resentment, but like disgust, I think, although that might be a very harsh word, but it's because of that emotion shift that I'm hanging on to them, because I want to know what's the next line. I want to I want to have hope that it's going to change, that it's going to become positive, or that he's going to grow up and start making his own decisions, you know. So that's crazy. That's the first time I'm having such emotions. I think so. I mean, a song that I reacted to the other day, Telegraph Road by Dire Straits, was completely different. There, the whole thing was just, it was a magical piece. It was beautiful. It was brilliant. And again, a whole story that I just followed the entire time. But this it created very different emotions inside of me, which is what kept almost like having me want more. Instead of, like, let's say Telegraph Road, where it was all the good stuff, like, okay, so give me more, I can see this is going somewhere. There's definitely a bigger picture to this. But anyway, that is just my 2 cents. Yeah, art. I hope I didn't spoil this for you. Oh my goodness. Imagine you have a really good relationship with your mom, and I'm like saying this is not good, this is not healthy, this is not natural. Yeah, no, I can't even see a girl having such a relationship with her mom. Again, I don't see why anyone would ask the parent, do you think that person is good enough for me? That is not the right answer. Oh, that's not the right question, because it's already psychologically you're looking down on the person that you care for, or that you're trying to get approval for. Generally, you would imagine it's parents that say that person's not good enough for you. No. You know, especially your higher class individuals. You're only allowed to marry a child if you're a child, or, you know, freaking CEOs and whatever and doctors. You need to, if being doctors are in the family, then you need to marry a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Anything else less than that would not be good enough. So, whereas the person who's actually in love with this other one, hell no. If you ever have to ask that question to anyone whether I'm good enough for you, it's done. You should have made that judgment yourself, or at least just let your emotions speak. I don't know. It's upsetting me actually just thinking about it, that someone who wants to partner with you would go and ask the question. I would never, ever, and have I ever gone and said to my parents or anyone that I actually trusted and cared for to say, do you think my boyfriend's good enough for me? No, it doesn't sound right. It's not right. I would go and make a case why that person is good enough for me, why I love him, why we can make this work. Clearly, maybe that's why none of them actually worked out. I don't know. Anyways, that was me. Thank you, Art. Thank you for some more Pink Floyd. You know, my brain is very active today, so you can see how my thoughts are jumping around from one thing to the next. But I'm in a good mood. I'm fasting. Maybe that's why, because my brain, it's already day 4. So my brain is actually pretty clear, and I have lots of spice tea. Actually need to go get some more now. So yeah, my ADHD might actually spike a little bit. Anyway, I will take you guys to the next one. Thank you and goodbye.